Imagine going through one of the most difficult medical processes a couple can endure, IVF, to finally have a baby. Imagine the months of hope, the tears, the prayers, and then the day finally comes. Your baby is born. But when the nurse places the child in your arms, something feels completely off. The baby doesn't look anything like you, not even a little bit. That's exactly what happened to Alex McCurry the moment she laid eyes on her newborn daughter. The little girl she and her husband had worked so hard to bring into this world. She was stunned into silence. Her baby had platinum blonde hair, bright blue eyes, and skin so fair that Alex's first thought wasn't joy, it was confusion. And then came a question she never expected to ask herself. Is this actually my baby? The doubts didn't stop there. As Alex started sharing her family's story online, the internet piled on. Strangers questioned everything, accusations flew, and the pressure became so overwhelming that Alex eventually made a decision that changed everything. She took a DNA test, and what came back? It shocked even her. To understand this story, you have to understand who Alex McCurry is. Alex is a black content creator and mom of 3 who has been sharing her family life online for years. She's warm, funny, and real, the kind of person who can laugh her way through tough situations. Her husband, Rob McCurry, is white. Together, they've built a loving, lively household that they've never been shy about putting on camera. Their 2 older kids, a son they call Bubba, who is 6, and a daughter they call Chub Chub, who is 8, look like exactly what you'd expect from an interracial couple. Both children are clearly mixed, carrying features from both parents. The family seemed picture perfect, and then came baby number 3. Alex and Rob decided to use IVF to conceive their 3rd child. It wasn't an easy road, but they were committed. When Pudge, the sweet nickname they gave their youngest, was finally born, the delivery room went quiet in the most unexpected way. Even Rob, who was trying to hold it together for his wife, couldn't hide his shock. Alex would later describe the moment by saying she could hear her husband nervously asking about a paternity test right there in the room. The baby's ears weren't even slightly dark. Her skin was as fair as could be. Her hair came in platinum blonde. Her eyes were a clear, striking blue. Alex was genuinely floored. She and Rob had gone into that delivery room expecting a child who might look lighter than their older kids, but nothing like this. And that's where it started. Not with trolls, not with social media comments. It started with a mother looking at her own newborn daughter and thinking, quietly and honestly, that someone at the lab may have made a mistake. As Alex began posting family content online, the public's reaction was swift and cruel. Comments flooded in, many of them questioning whether Pudge was actually her biological child. Some people accused Rob of cheating on Alex. Others were even more harsh, suggesting that Alex had rented the baby as a content baby to boost her social media numbers. One particularly cutting moment came when a stranger walked up to Alex in public, looked at Pudge, and complimented her on being such a wonderful nanny, not her mom. Her nanny. Alex had to stand there and say, "I'm her mother." The online comments are one thing. You can close an app, you can mute a notification, but you can't turn off your own mind. Alex has been open about the fact that even she had a quiet, lingering doubt in the early days. She never doubted her love for Pudge, not for a single second. But the question of biology, that one sat in the back of her head, especially because of how different Pudge looked compared to her siblings. Chub Chub and Bubba both had deeper complexions, features that blended both parents visibly. Pudge looked like she had come from an entirely different family tree. Then the internet made everything louder. Followers started doing side-by-side comparisons in her comment sections. People asked direct questions about whether something had gone wrong during the IVF process, whether embryos had been mixed up at the clinic. Some comments were genuinely curious. Many were not. Alex tried to respond with humor. When someone insisted that Rob must have cheated on her, she shot back sarcastically. Yes, he cheated and got me pregnant with his cheating baby. The jokes helped her get through it publicly, but privately, the whispers were building into something she couldn't ignore. Rob had brought up a paternity test in the delivery room half jokingly, but as the months passed and the questions kept coming, from strangers, from followers, from people they didn't even know, the idea of actually getting one started to feel less like an overreaction and more like the only way to put the noise to rest. For good. Alex has been honest about why she and Rob finally decided to go through with the DNA test. It wasn't because they genuinely believed in their hearts that Pudge wasn't theirs. Deep down, they knew she was, but the IVF process had planted a seed of uncertainty, because IVF is a medical procedure, and medical procedures sometimes involve human error. Labs can make mistakes. Embryos can get mislabeled. It's rare, but it happens. And when your baby comes out looking nothing like either of you expected, that seed grows. We decided to do the DNA test because she was so white, Alex said openly. And we did use IVF to get pregnant with her, and mistakes do happen. She wanted to rule it out, not because she would love Pudge any less if the results had said otherwise, but because she needed the certainty. She needed to be able to look every commenter, every stranger, every doubting voice, including the one sometimes in her own head, in the eye and say, I know. The decision wasn't easy. There's something deeply uncomfortable about having to scientifically verify your bond with your own child. It shouldn't have to be that way. But Alex and Rob chose to face it head on rather than let the speculation continue to grow around their family. The test was done, and then came the wait. When the results came back, they confirmed exactly what the family had hoped. Pudge was without question Alex and Rob's biological daughter, but knowing something in your gut and seeing it confirmed on paper are two different things. Alex's reaction wasn't just relief, it was emotional in a way she hadn't fully anticipated, because getting that confirmation meant something bigger than just answering a question. It meant that everything she had been told, that biology works in unexpected ways, that recessive genes can skip generations, that a black woman and a white man can absolutely produce a blonde, blue-eyed child, was true. It was their truth. The science behind it isn't magic. Both Alex and Rob carry gene variants for lighter features. When Pudge inherited just the right combination from each of them, she came out looking the way she does. It's genetics. It's real. And the DNA test made it undeniable. For Alex, the results were a turning point. She shared her story even more openly after that. Not because she owed the internet an explanation, but because she realized other families might be going through something similar. Mixed families, interracial couples, parents whose children look nothing like them. She wanted them to see that they weren't alone, and the comments didn't fully stop. They never do on the internet. But something shifted. Alex stood taller. She spoke more freely. Because she had the proof, yes, but more importantly, she had always had the truth. Alex McCurry's story is a powerful reminder of how dangerous it is to judge a family by how they look, in a world that often expects people to fit neatly into boxes, to look like their parents, to match their siblings, to make sense to strangers at a grocery store. Pudge just simply doesn't, and there is absolutely nothing wrong with that. Assumptions have a real cost. They made a loving mother question her own child. They made a family feel like they had to justify their existence to the world. And they showed in a very raw way how deep unconscious racial bias still runs, even when it's dressed up as simple curiosity. What Alex and Rob chose to do in the face of all of that was keep loving their daughter fiercely, to hold their family together, to keep showing up online with laughter and honesty, even when it was hard. Pudge is 3 years old, healthy, and surrounded by people who adore her, and that, at the end of the day, is all that has ever mattered. So here's a question for you. What would you have done in Alex's situation? Would you have taken the DNA test, or would you have tuned out the noise? Drop your answer in the comments below.